Hello, and welcome to the first Tuesday Truth of 2021. It's good to be back. It's good to kind of be starting on a new year. Kind of the goal being a balanced whole self. You don't need to be a new self, just a whole self. I hope you all had a good holiday. I hope you got rest and relaxation and rejuvenation and time with your family and time for yourself and all of that good stuff. So as you start into the new year, you're kind of ready to go and ready to tackle whatever comes. So somebody had reached out to me and just said, hey, it would be great if you started to share just some book ideas, because I'm always reading and I'm always suggesting books to people. And they said, you should do that with your Tuesday Truths. And so I think I'm going to try that for a couple of months. I may try once a month and just make a book suggestion. Because let's face it, we all have a lot of time right now. And I know a lot of people will say to me, well, I'm not a big book reader, which is great. If you want to watch a podcast, do books on tape, whatever you need. I also tell people that, like, when you read a book, don't stress out about like trying to get from the front to the back. Browse through it, read through it. Sometimes I have like 3 or 4 books going at one time. And just kind of depending on my mood that day, I'll pick up whatever book I want to keep going. I'm really bad about like one book at a time. I'm always kind of, got different books going and can grab and pull as I want. And sometimes I'll skip a part of it. If it's more of like a self-help book, skip a part if I don't really want to read it. Go to the parts that I want to. If it's more of a novel, obviously you're going to want to read the whole book. But on self-help books, just browse, graze, see what works for you. So on that note, the first book of 2021, I'm going to share with you guys is probably one of my all-time favorites, probably top 5 ever as far as self-help books. Just really, truly one of the best books that I think really every person should read. And that is Self-Compassion by Kristin Neff. Self-Compassion by Kristin Neff. And this is the proven power of being kind to yourself. And I always ask people, when you make a mistake, how many of you, and us, I'm going to say us because I do it too, find ourselves when we make a mistake or we have a failure, we say to ourselves, God, you're so stupid. What are you thinking? You just embarrassed yourself. Why did you do that? And I ask people all the time, is that how you would speak if your friend came to you and if your friend shared that she had had a failure or they had experienced, did something wrong or made a big mistake? Would you say to your friend, you're so stupid and what are you thinking and you're such an embarrassment? Or would you say that to your child? Most of us say no. We wouldn't treat our friend or our children like that, but we talk to ourselves like that. The narrative in our head is so negative. And so this book is all about learning how to talk kinder to yourself and really to talk to yourself the way you would talk to a good friend. And that's kind of the premise of what self-compassion is. So I just want to read you just a little part. She says, why is self-compassion a more effective motivator than self-criticism? Because its driving force is love, not fear. Love allows us to feel confident and secure, while fear makes us feel insecure and jittery. When we trust ourselves to be understanding and compassionate when we fail, we won't cause ourselves unnecessary stress and anxiety. Self-compassion unlike self-criticism, which asks if you're good enough, self-compassion asks what's good for you. Self-compassion taps into your inner desire to be healthy and happy. That's just one part. I think there's also an excellent part in the book that addresses kind of the hardest, toughest profession in the world, which obviously we all know is parenting. No harder profession. Unpaid. We're all overworked and unpaid, but it is the hardest profession. And she has a whole chapter on self-compassion parenting. And self-compassion is essential for good parenting because we can model to our kids, if we can model how to have flaws and imperfections and be okay with it and embrace it and move past it and not get hung up on just identifying everything you do wrong or everything that makes you imperfect. If you can learn to embrace it celebrate it, be okay with it, love on yourself when you make mistakes, then we're going to model and pass that on to our kids. And that's just so important for parenting, because our kids need to know that we don't expect them to be perfect humans. And if we're modeling that love on ourselves and how we talk to ourselves kindly, then we're really giving our gift to a gift to our children. So I cannot speak highly about it enough. She talks about responding versus reacting. There's little exercises in there, and she says, that self-kindness is so important, that we can be gentle and kind to ourselves versus being critical and harsh on ourselves, which so often that's what we are in our head. But to other people, we model this kindness and this acceptance and forgiveness of other people. But it has to start with how you talk to yourself in your head. So the first book of 2021, no pressure, but I highly, highly recommend it, is Self-Compassion by Kristin Neff. It's a great book, a great thing to read through, great practice to put in place, great thing to be mindful of as you parent, as you work on yourself, as you grow. Can't speak well enough about it. One of the best books. All right. Have a great Tuesday. Have a great week. I'll see you back here for another Tuesday Truth. Shoot me if you have a book you want to suggest that I talk about. I love it. Love books. Send it my way. And go out and have a great week. Love, love, love on your teenagers. They need it now more than ever. And we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.